Hello and welcome into this week's Monster Energy NASCAR Cup Series preview show right here on Racing News Now. As always, I'm your host, Garth Allen. Thank you once again for joining me today. If this is your first time catching a Racing News Now video, consider going down below to hit that subscribe button and ring the bell for notifications so you don't miss a thing going forward from RNN. On today's Cup preview, we're going to look at both practice sessions from Martinsville thus far this weekend. We're going to look at the starting lineup for today's STP 500. We're going to hear thoughts from the pole winner. Then we're going to make a prediction given all the information and knowledge that we have from this weekend and from past races here at Martinsville. We're going to predict a winner for today's race. Not only am I going to predict a winner, but you are going to predict a winner as well. As we always like to include you in the discussion here. So you're going to let us know who you think is going to win the race today as well. So let's go ahead and dive right into it. With the way the weekend schedule shook out this weekend, everything happened yesterday on Saturday. And usually how it works is we'll have one qualifying practice, then qualifying on Friday, both of those on Friday, and then we'll have both race practices on Saturday and then the race on Sunday. Shook out a little different this weekend. We had both practice sessions before the truck race on Saturday, and then qualifying happened after the truck race. So, both practice sessions, while first practice was more or less kind of used a little bit as a qualifying practice session, they both really were used as a race practice session for the most part. There were qualifying runs made in first practice, but overall it was mainly used as a race practice session. So we're going to look at first practice here at the times from first practice. Clint Bowyer topped that practice, 19,387, 97.674 miles per hour, just ahead of his two teammates, Daniel Suarez and Eric Almirola. Then two Gibbs cars, Truex and Kyle Busch. Then a Penske Ford for Brad Keselowski. Chris Buescher putting a JTG Doherty Chevrolet in 7th. Another Penske Ford in 8th and Joey Logano, your fall winner from here. Denny Hamlin and another Gibbs Toyota in 9th. And Chase Elliott puts a Hendrick Chevy in the top 10 in this practice session. Some notables further down the list. William Byron only made 2 laps in this practice session, but he was the slowest in 36th, 20.606. Ricky Stenhouse far down the list in 29th. Daniel Hemrick in 27th. Ryan Newman not showing a lot of speed either in 25th. Kurt Busch down in 23rd. Otherwise, fairly normal spots for everyone else. The thing about looking at this practice session, you got to look at the best 10 lap averages here, and Kyle Busch actually topped that list. I know there's going to be a lot of people that aren't happy about that to see Kyle Busch again has speed this week, but he was fastest in this practice session over 10 laps. 96.642 was his average speed over 10 laps. 0.3 of a mile an hour faster than Eric Almirola, who was second on that list. Martin Truex, Ryan Blaney, and Clint Bowyer also in the top 5 in best 10 lap averages in this session. So it's looking to be generally the same cast of characters up front, which I don't know why that would surprise anyone, I guess. It's your typical guys that are fast at Martinsville, which I guess really shouldn't be surprising. Let's look at final practice, though. Final practice is a little different. Final practice looks definitely different on the single lap speeds. Chase Elliott tops final practice with a 19.413, 97.543 miles per hour, leading his Hendrick teammates Alex Bowman and Jimmy Johnson, the top 3. Austin Dillon jumped it up all the way to 4th in this practice session. Paul Menard in 5th. Ty Dillon even up to 6th in this session. Daniel Hemrick jumped a lot in this session as well. He put both RCR cars in the top 7. Kevin Harvick there in 8th. Ricky Stenhouse jumped to 9th and Eric Jones in 10th. Some guys maybe to be concerned about from this session. Kurt Busch still slow in this session. 27th on the board in this session. Remember Chris Buescher, he was up in 7th in first practice, 26th in this practice session. Kyle Larson down in 24th. William Byron still not showing a lot of speed in this session either. He was 23rd on the board, while his 3 Hendrick teammates were up 1st through 3rd. So I think that 24 team, William Byron, Chad Knaus, they've got a lot of work to do this weekend. That's not a very fast car, so it seems. Martin Truex, though, topped the 10-lap average chart in this session, 95.445 miles per hour over 10 laps. Clint Boyer, not too far behind him, though, less than a tenth of a mile an hour off of him at 95.380. Kyle Busch, Kevin Harvick, Eric Almirola, also fast, also in the top 5 of the best 10-lap average chart. All right, so that is your practice times from Martinsville. So let's go ahead. We'll look at the starting lineup since that came after both practice sessions and see who is starting where. Joey Logano will actually start on the pole for this race, your defending winner from Martinsville. He'll start on the pole with Eric Almirola on the outside. Row 2 will have Brad Keselowski, Kevin Harvick. Row 3, Denny Hamlin, William Byron. Is that team maybe saving something? Were they not showing all their cards in practice? 6th fastest in qualifying for William Byron. Row 4, Kyle Larson, Chase Elliott, and row 5, rounding out the top 10, Martin Truex Jr. and Daniel Suarez. Also in the final round of qualifying were Clint Boyer and Jimmy Johnson. They're in row 6. As we continue to scroll through the rest of the starting lineup, we see Kyle Busch starting from the 14th position, Alex Bowman down in 17th, Ryan Blaney will roll off from 18th, Eric Jones 19th, and Kurt Busch right about where he's been practicing, maybe a little bit better, 20th down here is where Kurt Busch will start. And then as we continue to scroll down through here, we see some names we're not necessarily accustomed to this far down the starting lineup. Ryan Newman in 21st, Bubba Wallace 27th. The 2 RCR teammates down here in row 15, Daniel Hemrick 29th, Austin Dillon in 30th. So not a good qualifying session for the RCR teammates, that is for sure. But I think the biggest surprise here, especially with how he practiced, is William Byron starting from 6th. Does William Byron have more than what he was showing us in practice? Are we about to see a good race out of William Byron that's really going to surprise us given what he did in practice? These are questions that will be answered later today. So, with that being said, let's head over to the Media Center. We will see what Joey Logano had to say about that lap that he put down in qualifying.
Yeah, it was a great lap. I think we were able to get through the first couple rounds without putting many laps on our tires, and that's really paid the reward as we got to the third round. Car was pretty good. Car wasn't too far off, and we didn't make a mock qualifying run in practice, so it's a little bit of an unknown when you rolled into qualifying here. But guys did a good job at making the right adjustments to have something pretty close, to be able to carry a lot of speed and ultimately be able to get the pole here. So it's important to win a pole here. To start up front, obviously is safer, but you can also run your pace and a little safer place on pit road as well. So I think when you think of that stuff, it gives you an advantage going into tomorrow's race. So hopefully we can turn that into a win.
All right, so you know what time it is now that we have gotten through practice, qualifying, all of that. It is time to pick a winner for today's STP 500 from the Martinsville Speedway. So let us know down in the live chat if you're watching this as a premiere. Who do you think is going to win today in the STP 500? If you're watching this a little later, not as a premiere, let us know down in the comments. Who do you think is going to win today from Martinsville? As for my pick, he's been very fast all weekend long, or I guess all Saturday long. Both practice sessions, he was right up there. He's starting third in today's race. I think Brad Keselowski picks up his second win of the season here at Martinsville. He's always strong here. He's shown that he is definitely strong this weekend. And the funny thing is, going into recording this, not having really looked at all that had quite gone down yet this weekend, I was really leaning towards Kyle Busch because I feel like all the momentum is on Kyle Busch's side right now, but he wasn't super fast in qualifying. He was fairly fast in both practice sessions, but he's not looking as invincible as he has looked the past few weekends. He's not looking as invincible as he really probably was yesterday in the truck race. And that's why I kind of shifted last second, and I've gone with Brad Keselowski. I think Brad Keselowski has the speed. We know he's got the talent to do it. He's good at Martinsville. He's run well at Martinsville in the past. I think Brad Keselowski wins today in the STP 500, picks up that second win of the season, and puts himself in the multiple winners club this season with Kyle Busch. So like I said, let us know down in the live chat if you're watching this as a premiere who is going to win today, or if you're watching this a little later, let us know down in the comments. STP 500 coming up today at 2 p.m. You can catch that on Fox Sports 1 if you got cable. And then, of course, as always, radio broadcasts, MRN, Sirius XM, NASCAR radio, that kind of thing, if you can't quite catch it on TV. And then, of course, we have a rewind show coming up tonight to catch you up on everything that happened today in the STP 500. And then pole position, as usual, coming up tomorrow evening, Monday evening, 8 p.m. Eastern, to catch you up on everything that happened this weekend. Both races from Martinsville, IndyCar from COTA. There's all kinds of stuff happening this weekend that you will definitely want to check out pole position for tomorrow night to get caught up on from this weekend. But if you haven't done it already, you need to go down below, hit that subscribe button, ring the bell for notifications so you don't miss a thing going forward from RNN. And while you're down there, why don't you hit that big thumbs up button if you like the video. It is much appreciated when you do, and it helps us out so much when you do that. But at that, this has been the Monster Energy NASCAR Cup Series preview show. I'm Garth Allen for Racing News Now.